So first of all, if the sound is a little bit different, I apologize. I left home without my mic today, and as you can tell, we are not in home. We are in the yoga, I guess yoga studio, but it's really where we teach yoga here at Texas A&M, our room in our studio here. So I apologize if there's any sound issues, but there's not a lot of external sound in here except maybe the AC, so hopefully you can hear me. And then also a little something about this video in particular. This video is not, I mean, it's definitely a follow along, and you can do this video with me at any time. However, it's really designed to be more of a tutorial so that you can take the information that you learn from here and incorporate it into really your entire fitness regime, but also in, this is not a regime, we're not ruling our fitness, your fitness regimen. But also especially, and this is specifically designed to be part of our Disney Run race prep series, your runs and your walks and all of that type of stuff. So before we absolutely get started, a quick little something about foam rolling. So we are specifically using a foam roller today. I have a small one. You can use the long ones. It doesn't even have to look like this, but a cylindrical foam roller. Mine's hollow. There's probably, well, I don't know, maybe you have this one, but most of them are not. This is like one, this is the, if you want to level foam rollers, this one's really, really hard. So this one's a little bit more difficult. And by difficult, I mean painful. Let's be very clear. So why foam rolling? Why not just stretching? So if you have not been following along, I've done the last tutorial we did, or the last workout was a stretching workout for post-run or walk or whatever. And I've done some walking videos, but why would we add in foam rolling to our training plan? And the reason for this is the one thing that we can do that will really help our muscles move within our body. So if you imagine the body and all the layers that go on, and the fascia is running in and between all of those layers. That's what fascia is. You do need to know this. The best way that I have ever found to describe fascia is if you can imagine peeling an orange, right? You peel it and then you get to the fruit. The fruit is segmented, and then again within those segments you crack them apart and they've got little pulses segmented again. So to get to the actual juice of the orange, there's all these segments that you have to go through that are encapsulated. So if you can imagine the body kind of like that, right? We have the skin, we have multiple tissue layers, we have the muscle, inside the muscle we have the muscle fibers. All of this stuff that's keeping it separated would be the fascia, the connective tissue. So it's the thing that you have to pull it apart from. And in our body, when we are stuck in one movement pattern, maybe we're dehydrated, there's even been talk that maybe we're tired, like we're not getting enough sleep to repair our body, then our fascia gets kind of tight. It gets to a place where it's constricting. So no matter how much we try to stretch that muscle underneath, if the fascia isn't hydrated and supple and able to be moved in and between, we can only do so much. So this is why we foam roll. It's called myofascial fascia release, right? Also self-massage. Massage is myofascial release. So that is why they preach massages, they preach self-myofascial release. And then one more super, super cool thing about fascia, you didn't ever know you could get this excited about something like this, but this is the one thing that we can do for our muscles at any time. So we can do this before we even warm up for an activity. You can't do that with stretching. If you're doing that with stretching, stop. Right? Not good for you. It does not help performance. It can potentially increase your propensity for injury. Not with a foam roller. With a foam roller, we can, and it doesn't have to be this, any kind of trigger point therapy, any kind of self-myofascial release tool, anything like that, you can really use at any time. So this should be your new best friend. You can even now, if you're watching this and you're doing a Disney race, you can even get up before the race to foam roll. That would be really early in the morning, but night before works too. So anyway, you can use this at any time. It's a good replacement for those of you that really like to feel a stretch stretch before you run, this is a good replacement. So I'm going to show you a total body and really designed more for runners and walkers, what I would do as part of my workout routine with my foam roller. Okay, that was the spiel as to why, because I always feel like I have to sell foam rolling a little bit because it is not super comfortable once we get into it. But you have control of that. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start a little differently than I usually start. Usually I start on my back. I'm not going to do that today. I start with the lower body. Today I'm going to start with the upper body. I want you to put your hands on your foam roller, and we're kind of move it forward and back until those wrists are right below the shoulders. And then I want you to round up and look through. Just a little bit of cat and cow. Just to wake up the spine. That's it. And just to kind of feel the foam roller, feel the stability, kind of get an idea of what we're working with here. Beautiful. Now we're going to go down to the ground. We're going to lay prone on our belly. And here's what I want to make sure you do with the lower body. Make sure that the tops of the toes, the part where your shoelaces would be normally, are on the ground and pushing a little bit so that your knees are a little bit lifted off and your booty is squeezed. So that helps kind of anchor in our lower body. It doesn't have to be super active, but it does need to have that connection with the toes, squeeze with the booty, and if the knees lift, that's okay. Just we don't want the feet to start lifting. We're going to take our foam roller out here. We're going to put it right distal, meaning away from our heart. So on this side of the elbow, not this side, right? Here's the elbow, here's the foam roller. Distal. Arms are on. We're going to let the head kind of hang for a minute. Big breath in. Exhale. Engage the lower body, tighten the belly, and start to press into that foam roller and lift. Drop the shoulders. So you're getting a little bit of a release in the forearms and lower. Inhale, exhale, lift. Inhale, exhale, lower. Good. You can do this as many times as you want. Moving on the exhale. Holding on the inhale. So again, I'm going to kind of move through these exercises at a little quicker pace because I'm showing you a variety of them. But you can do as many as you want. So that's our swan. So we did cat and cow, swan. We're moving into a lat release. So you're going to go to a little bit of a sideline position. This is going to tuck right underneath your shoulder. Now I'm going to cross my arm in front of my body. And then I just roll up and back. Using that back leg as a prop. Up and back. And you might find a place where, for me right here, it's a little bit tight. And by tight, I mean I'm feeling additional pressure, like, ooh, that's a lot. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to just roll forward and back. We're going to call this microfibering, where you find that trigger point, that little place of tension. Some might call it a knot in their back. And then you hang out on it. First of all, just hang out there. That's not called microfibering. That's called just breathing through the pain. And then microfibering is going forward and back. And remember, the pain is like, oh my gosh, you're pressing on this, ouch. It's not like a searing, like broken bone type pain. This is, it's not an easy pain, but it's like a deep tissue massage type pain. So again, you can do that on this side. You can go down to the rib cage, go forward and back a little bit. You can angle a little bit more toward the back of the body, kind of underneath that shoulder blade. And we're going to do this on both sides. So after you've done that lat, let's do the other one. And I know you're like, oh, Gretchen, this is for a road race, like our lower body. What are you doing? Well, think about it. When you are walking and running, so same thing. Get on your side, get that supporting leg, put the arm across, roll where you need to. It's going to be a little different. Find a place to hang out. So when you're walking and running, and you're doing this consistent movement pattern, it's not like you don't have a torso anymore. The torso comes along for the ride. And we can tend to hold our body in ways that make us develop tension and tightness in certain areas in our body. So this upper body release is just for those little knots and things that we created. I know sometimes after I've done like a really hard walk or run, or I really pushed myself in a workout, my traps, this part, and my lats, this part, are sore because I tend to hold myself, like I pull my shoulders up, right? So kind of figuring out where you feel the tension, and then when you walk or run, allowing yourself to release that. We hold this tension in our face. Your face doesn't help while you're running. We hold this tension in our shoulders. It doesn't help. Trying to relax that and send the energy where it needs to be. So after you've done your lats, we're going to roll onto our back and put this right below our shoulder blades and just cross our arms across our chest. Lift our booty and let ourselves roll a little bit in our upper back. Just a little bit of rolling in the upper back. And if you want, you can do a little kind of back bendy thing over it. I love the way that feels. Whatever you need, you can get here. And it's all for that upper body. And the last and final little thing for the upper body is to get into the neck, those tight areas. We have to turn it. Okay, so we did lats, we did upper back. Now we're turning it long ways. The short one gets kind of funky. So you're going to have to use your feet. If you have a long one, you get to lay it all on your spine. In your head, you bring the end of the foam roller to the nape of your neck. And then you're going to let yourself do this thing where we just look right to left and massage the nape of our neck with the edge of the foam roller. And you can do, if you imagine the Charlie Brown head, remember the cartoon Charlie Brown? If you don't, you can Google it, where the hair was just this like zigzag line. You can also look up and down and kind of move the head along that line. So let me just show you sitting up for a second where this is, because it is kind of hard to see. This foam roller is landing right at the nape of my neck, and I'm laying my head back on it. I don't know if that's even translating well via video, but right here. So it feels really nice. And if you can't get to some of this, you're like, I don't really, that's weird. Do the stuff you can do. Over time, you get more comfortable with this, you'll start to kind of figure out the other stuff. So let's get to the lower body. We're going to start by sitting on the foam roller. Should I go sideways? I probably should. We're going to sit on this. We're going to sit, and the focal point will be this butt cheek. It doesn't matter. A side. You pick a side. We're going to cross our leg over and put that same side hand down. We can go fist first if we want, flat hand, and angle your body so that everything is on this one butt cheek. Okay? We're going to roll up and over the booty cheek. Up and over. Again, I'm going to move through this fast. You can take as much time as you want on this. You'll find those points of tension, the extreme tension, the little trigger points, or where you feel a knot. Hang out there, and then you're going to drop your knee toward the floor and come back up. Drop and up, so that you start to feel the microfibering across that. Very nice. And you can go up and back. It's all along the booty, however far you need to go. And then we're going to switch sides. So again, take your time. I'm moving fast. I already said that. Through this, I'll remind you that yours can take as long as you want. This is your tutorial. So here's a front view of what's going on. I'm going to scoot myself to one side. I'm going to center that butt cheek. Cross that same side leg over, and then start to roll. And I've noticed like my glutes are very different. This one always has, I don't know if I've injured it at some point or whatever, but I can feel this one kind of a ropey muscle. Pretty sure it's been piriformis, but I can kind of feel it, and I clunk over it, right? Like I can feel it. It's okay. Just notice those differences and observe them without trying to judge yourself and like, why is this so bad? Or why is this side better? It's just different. It's how we hold our body, and of course we're microfibering by dropping over and away from those trigger points. Feels so good. It's such a, not I don't know. I hesitate to be like, oh, floatability is just glorious, because there is this piece where, like, yeah, it's not great. Like, it's a deep tissue massage. You're not at a spa, but it's really good for your body. Okay, so we've done that. Let's get into our hamstrings now. And again, we can do them one at a time, or we can do them both at the same time. So, what am I on the floor? Okay. So, I'm going to show you, I guess I'll show you one at a time, since we're here on one at a time. So you'll do the same thing. The leg that you're working is the arm that you're on, but you're going to slide through and forward. So you're having to get even more room here for the hamstring. So that's the one. That's the one. You can also, might be harder on a smaller one. I don't even know if it's possible on a smaller one. Okay, so a smaller one you'll always have to do one at a time. But if you have a long one, then you can do both hamstrings at a time. You're just going to have to pull yourself in and away. And you're really going to have to walk those arms away. Let me show you sideways, and I'll show you kind of the other leg. So you have option one, where you lean onto one arm and you roll the hamstring here, which is kind of nice. Or option two, where you lean on both arms way back and you roll, and that's way back, the hamstring here. You've got to have a lot of opportunity for your chest to be flexible with that option. So if you're on a small roller, I'd suggest the one side or the one outside arm. If you're on a longer roller, the other way is going to work as well. Now again, you can find the spot that's heavier hitting and microfiber. So that's kind of the theme here that we're working with, and I want you to remember this. Long rolls to start. And the idea of the long rolls is identify your trigger points. Identify where the knots are. Then slow it down. Find that place. Microfiber. Maybe move to another microfiber. Okay? And I'll talk about this part in a minute. That's fine. We're good. All right, we've got our pattern down, right? Long, because some people just boom, 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 roll over it. And that's fine, but it's not getting all that you could get. One additional piece is to make sure that you're relaxing. Right? You're relaxing. You don't want to tension up the leg and do this type of thing, because that muscle, you're not being allowed to get into all the connective tissue. Okay, that's hamstrings. One thing I would say, there's this IT band on the outside edge of your leg, and some tutorials tell you to roll it, some do not. There's been a lot of kind of controversy around this, and if you're not in the fitness arena like I am, and the research aspect of it and all the new things, you might not know this, so I want you to hear this from me because I do know. There's controversy around it because it helps kind of the knee stabilize. So in certain sports, and like a lot of them that have running and explosive action in them, they choose not to roll the IT band because they lose stability in the knee if you're not allowing the tension that needs to be there, be there. There is a place you can roll that will relieve the tension that you're feeling, but not going up and down the outside area of the leg. So I would say, you're walking, you're running, and you're going to push yourself a little bit on race day. Avoid the outside edge of the leg. Just avoid it. Right? So, here's what we can do instead. We can get up on the side, so you don't kind of like mermaid legs into it. We can get up on the side of our roller. Now, very up top, right by our hip, and we're going to roll forward and back across the TFL, the tensor fascia lata, or lata, or latae, I don't know. I'm that person who reads it in a book and then realizes, you know what, I might not be pronouncing it right. It's the best way to be. I hope you're like that too. So rolling forward and back over the top of it. And I'll tell you what, it feels. So, and you can do both sides. So I'm going to show you both sides. And again, take your time. I said a million times, I'm just rolling through these because I want to get you a good tutorial in about 30 minutes. Even if you go through at the same pace, maybe big areas. These are, this next one is one of my faves in a way that, like, this is where I need it. So we're gonna roll the quadriceps, the front of the leg. So here's the piece I didn't give you earlier that I kind of realized I was throwing up too much information. Your veins have these little valves in them. So arteries, muscular walls, they're pumping the blood, like they're doing the work. Veins, not really, they have thin walls. The way that they move blood up, like in the legs, move the blood to your heart. Arms too, if we think legs are way down here below gravity, right? Like they're not below gravity, Gretchen. But they're like, they have a lot more to work against to get up to the heart. You have these valves in your veins. So blood gets pushed, pulsed up, valves open, and then they snap closed to keep the blood from sloshing back and forth. So you have these valves in the veins that we don't want to do anything bad to. So if you have like a big varicose vein, I'm not talking like little tiny spider veins, like a big varicose vein, you might not want to roll heavy on top of that vein because it's already got a little bit of damage going on. So consider that, right? You might choose to do hamstrings lighter, or you might choose to do your glutes lighter or your quads lighter. And another thing is, when you let yourself hang heavy, make sure that the pressure is going up toward your heart or not going anywhere at all. For instance, on our quadriceps, now, I'm going to show you one leg at a time. Again, you can do, I'll show you what we're going to do both. If you're going to do both twice, I can do both. Okay. So, I'll show you both. We come out to the end, we're going to let ourselves hang heavy, still engaging our belly though. Walk that up toward thighs. And then maybe tighten our thighs to walk out, right, to protect our veins a little bit. Then hang heavy to roll up. Then we're going to find that little piece. Let me show you what it would look like with one leg. Center the leg. Put your other leg out to the side. I'm going to have to show you from another angle in a moment. So again, lighters, tighten the quad, and then hang heavy. Find that spot and then do a little microfiber. Just pull that leg back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. My quads always have a lot to tell me. Nice and tight. And then you can go in search of the next one, right? So while you're working that out, I'm going to show you again, then I'll show you the other leg, how you would set up. So how should I show you? I'll show you front facing. Yes, sure, front facing. So this is here. Center my leg on it. Bring my arms out. This other leg comes out to the side. Angle. Something's weird. It's just really hard to see this. Okay. Here, my leg's out to the side. Whatever. You're supporting yourself. I'm going to try one more position just so you guys can see how that leg is out to the side. Something more like, I don't get this. It's more like arching on. Boom. There we go. So now we're on. And we're finding those spots. And we're microfiber. Okay. Next place we want to move to. Moving fast, trying to keep this at like 30 minutes that I try to keep these workouts at. By the way, if you don't know our upload schedule, every odd Wednesday, a new workout video comes out. If you're part of my elite coaching group, you are invited to the live streams of them, but then they release out to everyone on Wednesdays. So just follow in. What is that thing you do? You click the notification bell. Yeah, all that good stuff. Now, to get our inner thigh, we're going to turn this to be the same direction as our spine. Put it out beside our body. Prop that leg up on it. You can roll toward and away. To microfiber. Find that point. Lift and lower. Lift really good for hip mobility too. But I like to do this one later in the game, like later in the flow of things, because my hips are loosened up and I can get a better reach here. And actually this one always ends up being closer to my knee. Needs it a little bit more, maybe a lot bit more. And of course we can do both sides. Another direction. end with the one kind of non-negotiable roll. Okay, so if you are pressed for time, you're like, I can't go through that whole thing, Gretchen. This is what you're going to do. All right, you're going to do this place on your leg from your heel about to the top of your calf, on the back of your leg. Why? Feel it. Do you feel how it's almost hard down here? Like, is that a muscle? Is that a tendon? Is that a ligament? I don't know. Well, it's a bunch of different things. There's a ton of fascia right here. I do this drill in my class, and you can try it for yourself, where before we ever do this, and really probably you should have done this before you do anything else in your leg, but you pick a foot, and you jump up and down on it, and just feel it. And generally, you feel kind of heavy. So then, we come down and we do our little roll. So you're going to put your leg on, single leg, and you can decide. I personally like to cross my other leg over it because it adds a little weight, and then I'm going to roll up to just to like where my calf muscle starts and back down. And you can do this however you want. So relax the foot up to where the calf starts and back down. Again, you can cross the leg if you want. So walk. Whoa, okay, on this foam roller, I'm probably not going to do that. So if you notice, I've got these like little nubby pieces. Change the game. So after you roll forward and back, I want you to just do the little microfiber thing. This is where I'll definitely have leg. Latch your bottom microfiber. Now, turn your foot out and do the same thing. So forward and back and feel those little nubs. Go. Cross your leg over. Go forward and back. Turn your foot in. Then we get up to our calf muscle. So we're going to roll onto our calf, like up to the back of our knee and down beyond our calf. Roll and roll. Turn it in. Roll and roll. Nice and heavy. My wrist will start to bother me. My watch is going to be funny. And then turn it. Oh, I said turn it in. Turn out. Now turn it in. Roll. You'll have to move more of your body and your brain. And now this is what we're doing on this one. We're finding those places where we need to cross fiber. So we kind of cross fiber anyway in the lower leg. On this calf muscle, we're finding the places. So go back to the center, cross the leg over, and then you can microfiber, but big microfiber, like in and out, and in and out, right? Go over that whole area and get the calf muscle, and then you can even roll through the bottom of the foot. Now there's much better ways to do this. Like if you have a little ball, like even a golf ball, softball, standing and rolling through it, you can even stand and roll on your foam roller, right? Put some weight on it, roll through the foot. Just be careful. I feel like you need to offer some kind of like little, don't fall over and hurt yourself in some. But then, try this. Go back to that foot. And do a little jump. And now probably I'm not jumping any higher, but I sure do feel lighter. I feel so much lighter. You know, like before a walk or a run, it helps with that spring in your step. It helps you feel not so heavy, right? And then make sure that you do both sides. So while I work on this side, I'm going to just talk to you a little bit. One of the things that we want to consider when purchasing a foam roller is that, and I can go in and put a link to a good one in the description, but when we purchase our foam roller, we want to make sure that it kind of meets us where we are. So if you haven't already noticed, you can buy a variety of foam rollers. In fact, I think I'm gonna like go grab a couple to show you. Yeah, give me like half a second. I'm just gonna grab some foam rollers real quick. You keep rolling out that other calf. Okay, well, they took my lovely foam rollers that I really do love, but I'll show you this other option. So I'm gonna get close to you. So here's kind of like a small one. And if you notice, where's my camera? If you notice, you see how it's not individual pockets, but it's like foam core. So it's not, it's all one piece of foam and it's open pockets. Open pockets. This would be kind of the gentlest foam roller that you could have. It's very gentle. It's very compressible. I can squeeze it and deform it a little bit, right? If you have never foam rolled before, you're tempted to buy one like this. Oh, I don't like these, I'm about to tell you why. Secret. They deform quickly. And if you roll on them a couple times, it might feel good the first couple times because you're not used to doing this. But then, all of a sudden, they're compressed. And they don't have the same amount of give, and you're not getting the same results. You're not getting the same kind of foam rolling. So what I would say is if you buy a foam roller, long, big, small, otherwise doesn't matter, make sure that they at least have individual cells. So when you look at the end, it looks like a bunch of tiny foam pieces smooshed together, and it's considerably harder. You cannot squeeze it and change its shape. You can always lighten up the pressure during the roll on the foam roller, and eventually you'll get to the point where you can put more pressure into that, the one with the individual cells. So save yourself some money, and instead of buying like multiples of these, buy one. It might be a little more expensive out of the gate, but buy one of the more sturdy ones. The one that you see that I've been using here, that is actually a Trigger Point Therapy brand. It's foam or some kind of soft material, I don't want to say foam, but over the top of PVC. So you decide what you want. That one's going to be a little hard if you're brand new to this, but a really awesome purchase if you've been doing it for a long time. You can hold on to it. So I will put some links to that in the comments, and you can go in and find a foam roller for yourself. But you know, if you see them in the gym, you're just like, I don't know what to do with them. Now you do. Don't forget to like, subscribe, set up notifications so that you know when I drop a new workout. All right? And I'll see you on the next Odd Wednesday or at our next scheduled live workout if you're part of the Elite Coaching and Mastermind group. Bye.